There is an Igbo proverb, Okwu bundu, word is life. In traditional Igbo cosmology, speech is not casual. It creates structure. And this story begins with a woman who forgot that. In some Igbo communities, ancient Iroko trees were regarded as spiritually inhabited spaces. Not worshipped, not feared blindly, respected. They were considered part of Odinani, the indigenous Igbo spiritual framework. Within Odinani exist spiritual authorities called Alusi, guardians of balance tied to land, morality, and alignment. This story is a folktale, but its theology is real. A woman named Olarambi wanted a child desperately. Years passed, nothing. So she went into the forest, stood before an Iroko tree, and said, "If you give me a daughter, she will belong to you." She meant it in desperation. She conceived, the child was born, healthy, radiant, and she forgot what she said.
But here's the part that hits. Desperation explains why we say things. It doesn't erase what we said. If speech creates structure, then vows create obligation.
In Igbo belief, each person carries a personal spiritual companion called chi, their destiny alignment. To promise a child to a spiritual entity interferes with that child's chi. That's not symbolic. That's structural. Years later, the girl wandered near the forest, and the roots moved. Not violently, not angrily, just consistently. The presence said, "You were clear."
In moral cosmology, clarity matters. Ambiguity may allow negotiation. Precision does not. The vow activated alignment. Correction was required.
Some people hear this story and think, demonic tree, but that interpretation came later. When missionaries translated Igbo cosmology into European theological categories, many Alusi were labeled demons. But in traditional structure, Alusi were functional authorities, not devils. The Iroko here represents sacred witness, integrity, balance.
So the tree wasn't evil. It was consistent. And that's scarier than rage, because consistency means you can't negotiate with emotion.
Olarambi offered land, livestock, her own life, but the imbalance wasn't economic. It was moral. She had spoken from fear, from pride, from fear of shame, so she did